Discipline is not a feeling. Discipline is not motivation. Discipline is a choice, a relentless, unshakable force that separates the weak from the unstoppable. In the next 90 minutes, I'm going to show you how to control your emotions, dominate your habits, master your environment, and forge the warrior identity you've been pretending you couldn't have. Stop waiting. Stop hoping. Your mission starts now. Listen closely, because by the end, nothing will excuse you from becoming the person you were meant to be. Motivation is a liar. It shows up late. It leaves early. And it disappears the second life becomes uncomfortable. You already know this. You've lived it. There are days when you wake up ready. And days when you wake up empty. Days when you feel powerful. And days when you feel like a ghost walking through your own life. But listen carefully. You cannot build a powerful life on something as unstable as motivation. You cannot bet your future on a feeling. You cannot trust something that changes every single day. That is the truth most people never accept. They keep waiting. Waiting for motivation to strike. Waiting for the spark. Waiting for the mood, the energy, the excitement. And because they're always waiting, nothing changes. You have a choice. You can live like them. Or you can live like a warrior. A warrior does not wait for the perfect moment. A warrior creates the moment. A warrior acts because action is required, not because action feels good. That's the key. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is strategic. Motivation is a mood. Discipline is a decision. Motivation fades. Discipline stays. Every elite performer, every athlete, every soldier, every creator knows this. They do not wake up every day overflowing with motivation. What they wake up with is responsibility, duty, obligation, the commitment to show up whether they want to or not. If you only act on the days you feel like acting, your life will never change. Let me repeat that with force. If you only act when you feel like it, you will never rise. Because the uncomfortable days matter more than the easy days. Anyone can show up when life is smooth. Anyone can work hard when the mood is perfect. The question is, what do you do on the days you feel nothing? That's where warriors are made. Not in inspiration, not in excitement, but in boredom, in resistance, in fatigue, in the moments when the mind screams, "Not today." You have lived long enough to know your feelings cannot be trusted. They shift with the weather. They collapse under stress. They vanish when the work gets hard. They are unreliable visitors in your own mind. So why build your future around them? Why anchor your entire life on something that cannot hold its own weight? You have a choice. Stop waiting for motivation. Start building discipline. Let's break this down. Motivation is external. Discipline is internal. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. Motivation asks, "Do I feel like it?" Discipline says, "Do it anyway." That phrase, "do it anyway," must become the backbone of your life. When you're tired, do it anyway. When you're bored, do it anyway. When you're discouraged, do it anyway. When you feel unprepared, do it anyway. When your mind whispers excuses, do it anyway. Because that is the moment your identity is being shaped. Not your comfort, not your ego, your identity. The identity of someone who acts from discipline, not someone ruled by feelings. Real-world example. Look at the greatest athletes in the world. They don't train once in a while. They train daily. They train when they feel sore. They train when they feel slow. They train when they don't want to. Do you think marathon runners feel motivated at mile 22? Do you think Navy SEALs feel motivated during Hell Week? Do you think writers feel motivated every time they sit in front of a blank page? But they have discipline. They have commitment. They have a standard. And you can too. Stop believing the myth that discipline is a gift given to a select few. It is not. Discipline is built. Discipline is trained. Discipline is earned through repetition. When you push through the days you don't feel ready, your brain rewires. Your identity shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries to be disciplined. You begin seeing yourself as someone who is disciplined. And that identity changes everything. People lose momentum because they rely on motivation to get started. But here's the truth. You don't need motivation to start. You need movement. Action generates clarity. Action creates momentum. Action builds discipline. And once discipline is built, motivation becomes irrelevant. It becomes a luxury, not a requirement. Let me be clear. If you want a life that rises, you must learn to act without permission, from your feelings, your fears, or your doubts. You must build a mind that works even when you don't feel like working. You must stop chasing motivation like a lost child. You have a choice. Every day, every hour, every decision. You can choose the easy path, the emotional path, or the warrior's path, the disciplined path. Motivation whispers. Discipline commands. Motivation wants comfort. Discipline demands progress. Motivation burns out. Discipline endures. So how do you stop waiting for motivation? You start by making friction your friend. You start by making discomfort your signal, not your stop sign. You start by making commitment louder than emotion. Create a simple rule. If it needs to be done, it gets done. Period. No debates. No bargains. No emotional negotiations. Warriors do not argue with the mission. Warriors execute the mission. And today, that's what you learn. Execution beats excitement. Consistency beats intensity. Discipline beats motivation. Every time. You want a better life? Then build the skill that guarantees results regardless of mood, weather, or circumstances. Build discipline. Because feelings come and go. But discipline stays. Let that be the line etched into your mind. Let that be the anchor you hold onto when the days feel heavy. Let that be the standard you live by from this moment forward. You don't need motivation. You need mastery. You need structure. You need discipline. And now that you understand the truth about motivation, you are ready for the next step in your evolution. The step where you stop negotiating with the weaker parts of yourself. Where you silence the voice that sabotages your potential. You mastered the illusion of motivation. Now, let's destroy the enemy inside your mind. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That soft voice inside your head that sounds gentle, reasonable, even protective. It whispers things like, take a break. Do it later. You've done enough today. That's too hard. You're not ready yet. That voice is not your friend. That voice is the enemy. And I'll tell you the truth you've avoided your whole life. Excuses destroy futures. Eliminate them. Say it again. Excuses destroy futures. Eliminate them. Every person who never becomes who they could have been had a lifetime partnership with excuses. And every person who transformed their life learned one skill. They killed the voice of excuses before it could negotiate. Because that's the real internal battle. Not between you and the world, not between you and your circumstances, but between you and the negotiator living inside your mind. Let's break it down. There are two versions of you. The version you want to be, and the version that keeps you exactly where you are. The version you want to be wakes up with clarity. It moves like a soldier. It doesn't ask questions. It doesn't debate effort. The weaker version, the version you're trying to outgrow, behaves like a politician. It negotiates, bargains, and builds arguments for why you should delay, avoid, or quit. And here's the punchline. The negotiator always sounds intelligent. Boys, your excuses are custom-built to sound logical, to sound reasonable, to sound like they're protecting your energy, preserving time, or helping you avoid stress. That's the trick. Your greatest enemy hides behind a tone of compassion. You have a choice. You can listen to that voice and stay exactly where you've always been. Or you can do the thing disciplined people do. Act before the excuse finishes forming. That's the key. Disciplined people don't give their excuses time to speak. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for clarity. They act immediately, decisively, relentlessly. Because they understand something the average person never learns. You don't negotiate with weakness. You override it. Let's go deeper into the psychology so you can see what's really happening inside your head. The internal negotiator operates on one principle: avoid discomfort at all costs. That's the entire blueprint. If the task feels hard, it offers an excuse. If the task feels boring, it offers a distraction. If the task feels unfamiliar, it offers fear. If the task challenges your identity, it offers doubt. And you've believed these offers for years. You've treated your excuses like truth. You've treated your hesitation like wisdom. You've treated your fear like intuition. They're none of these things. They are survival mechanisms built by a part of your brain that still thinks you live in the wild. It's trying to keep you safe. But safe doesn't make you strong. Safe doesn't make you disciplined. Safe doesn't make you fulfilled. Safe keeps you small. You have a choice. And I'll repeat it until it pierces through every layer of your resistance. Excuses destroy futures. Eliminate them. Now let's get brutally practical. How do you actually kill the voice? How do you stop the internal negotiator from stealing your momentum? Here's step 1. Identify the first excuse you say every single day. Everyone has one. Maybe it's 5 more minutes. Maybe it's I'll start after breakfast. Maybe it's I don't feel like it. That's your first enemy of the day. And if you don't kill it, it will grow. It will multiply. It will spread into every decision that follows. So to act immediately on the behavior you want. Not after thinking. Not after planning. Not after mentally hyping yourself up. Action first. Emotion second. That flips the pattern. Right now, your brain waits for comfort before you act. You're going to train it to act before comfort arrives. Step 3. Interrupt the negotiation. The second you hear that internal voice building its case, stop it. Out loud if you have to. No. Not today. No. We're doing it anyway. No. You don't get a vote. This is not about becoming harsh with yourself. This is about breaking the psychological loop that has controlled you for years. Step 4. Build a zero-excuse environment. Your environment feeds your excuses. If your phone is next to your bed, excuses win. If junk food is in your kitchen, excuses win. If distractions are in your workspace, excuses win. You must design your surroundings to support your standards, not your weakness. Because here's the truth. Environment beats willpower, boys. And disciplined people know this. They don't rely on feeling strong. They engineer their world to remove temptation. Step 5. Use repetition as a weapon. Every time the excuse appears, crush it with the same line. Excuses destroy futures. Eliminate them. The repetition rewires your identity. You stop seeing excuses as thoughts and start seeing them as threats. And you stop seeing discipline as a punishment and start seeing it as freedom. Now understand this clearly. You will never be excuse-free. No one is. Even the strongest minds still hear the voice. The difference is simple. They don't act on it. They don't believe it. They don't negotiate with it. They hear the voice and move anyway. That's the separation. That's the difference between average and unstoppable. That's the difference between a person who dreams and a person who becomes the dream. You have a choice. Every excuse is a fork in the road. Every excuse asks you one question. Do you want comfort or do you want your future? And every time you choose discipline over delay, your identity shifts. You become someone you respect. You become someone you can trust. You become someone you don't want to disappoint. That's the real reward. Not the goal. Not the trophy. Not the result. The real reward is becoming the type of person who does what needs to be done, without debate, without permission, without negotiation. So here's your mandate for the rest of this audiobook. Whenever you hear that internal voice whispering excuses, kill it. Shut it down. Remove its oxygen. Starve it. Move anyway. Because excuses are assassins. They aim at your potential. They attack your ambition. They poison your future. And you're done letting that happen. You're done letting the negotiator run your life. You're done mistaking excuses for reasons. You're done believing the voice that has kept you small. Starting now, you step into a new identity. The identity of someone who acts. The identity of someone who moves. The identity of someone who gets it done every single time. You have a choice. And you're choosing discipline. You killed the excuses today. Tomorrow, you'll kill them again. And the next day. And the next. Until they stop talking. Until you stop listening. Until discipline becomes your default. Excuses destroy futures. Eliminate them. Now that you've silenced the internal negotiator, it's time to build the next weapon in your arsenal. You mastered your excuses. Now, let's talk about the true currency of your life. Pressure doesn't create weakness. Pressure reveals it. And that's the truth most people run from. They want to believe they'll rise to the occasion when life gets intense. They want to believe they'll suddenly become stronger, sharper, smarter, calmer. But that's a fantasy. Under pressure, you don't rise. You fall to the level of your training. That's the key. And if you don't train your mind, don't expect it to hold you up when everything around you starts to collapse. You have a choice. You can build a mind that collapses, or a mind that refuses to break. A mind that gets sharper the harder life hits. A mind that has been conditioned, day after day, to stay steady when the world gets loud. Because under pressure, training takes over. Remember that. Repeat it. Drill it into your head. Under pressure, training takes over. Look at any high-stakes profession. A pilot doesn't stay calm during engine failure because they feel brave. A surgeon doesn't keep steady hands because she hopes it will go well. A soldier doesn't move with precision because he believes in himself. They stay calm because they are trained to. Their mind has been exposed to stress again and again until the stress loses its power. That's your ladder. That's your example. Pressure is not your enemy. Lack of preparation is. When a plane hits turbulence, passengers panic. Heart rate spikes. Breath shortens. Thoughts scatter. But the pilot? The pilot is still speaking in the same calm, measured tone. Because the pilot has rehearsed this moment 1,000 times. They've been trained to override panic. They've been conditioned to follow procedure, not emotion. So when pressure hits, their mind doesn't break. Their training takes over. You need the same mental design. You need to train your mind until difficult moments feel familiar, not fatal. You need to condition your responses until discipline replaces impulse. Because the truth is simple. You can't rely on hope under pressure. Hope collapses. Only training holds. Think about surgeons. They stand over a patient's open chest. Every decision matters. Every motion counts. There is no room for hesitation, no space for emotional reaction. You think they were born calm? Of course not. They became calm by repetition. They became steady through exposure. Their mind was trained to operate under pressure until pressure became normal. That's the blueprint you borrow. Your mind becomes strong through repeated mental conditioning. Not once. Not when you feel motivated. Not when it's convenient. Daily. Deliberately. Because the world does not care about your motivation. The world responds to your preparation. Military units understand this better than anyone. A soldier doesn't learn discipline during war. A soldier enters war already disciplined. That's why special forces run thousands of drills, simulations, stress tests. They push the body to exhaustion so the mind learns one essential truth. When you are tired, when you are scared, when you are overwhelmed, training takes over. And that's what you must create for yourself. Your life will give you pressure, deadlines, failures, losses, conflict, rejection, uncertainty. You don't get to avoid that, but you do get to choose who you are when it arrives. You have a choice. Do you break because you've trained yourself to panic? Or do you stay centered because you've trained yourself to respond? Most people collapse because they've spent their whole life training the wrong muscles. They've trained themselves to overthink. They've trained themselves to avoid discomfort. They've trained themselves to seek instant relief, and then they wonder why they crumble under pressure. It's simple. They trained for collapse. You will not make that mistake. You will train for strength. You will train for clarity. You will train for discipline. You will build a mind that does not tremble when the situation becomes heavy. How do you do it? You expose yourself to controlled stress. You practice staying calm when everything inside you wants to react. You build small habits that teach your mind to hold steady. Start with your breath. When pressure rises, your breath is the first thing to betray you. Shallow, fast, chaotic. You can't think like that, so you train it. Slow inhale, slower exhale. And again, you teach your nervous system who is in charge, not fear. Next, practice delayed reactions. Someone says something rude, don't react. Someone criticizes you, don't react. Someone challenges your ego, don't react. Count 3 seconds. Let your brain catch up. This teaches you control. This teaches you restraint, because emotional speed is the enemy of clarity. Then, build pressure intentionally. Wake up earlier than you want to. Take cold showers. Do hard workouts. Speak up when it scares you. Handle tasks immediately instead of delaying them. Because every time you voluntarily step into discomfort, you are teaching your mind a crucial message. I can handle this. And over time, that message becomes automatic. Remember, under pressure, training takes over. If your training is laziness, you will respond with laziness. If your training is fear, you will respond with fear. If your training is discipline, you will respond with discipline. That's the key. That's the equation. Your mind becomes unbreakable by repetition, not inspiration. You don't need motivation. You need conditioning. You need exposure. You need habits that harden you in the right way, not emotionally numb, but emotionally controlled. Because here's the truth. Pressure doesn't change you. Pressure exposes you. It shows what you've built. It shows what you've avoided. It shows the identity you've been practicing every single day. So if you want to transform who you are under pressure, you must transform what you practice when life is quiet. Start today. Start small. Start with one disciplined action, something that forces you to push past your comfort. Do it even if you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. That's how training works. That's how pressure becomes your arena, not your enemy. You have a choice. You either build a mind that cracks the moment life intensifies, or a mind that becomes sharper, clearer, and more dominant when the pressure rises. And the difference between those two outcomes is simple. The training you commit to when no one is watching. Remember this. Under pressure, training takes over. So build training that serves you. Build training that protects you. Build training that makes you unstoppable. You just learned how pressure reveals the truth. Now it's time to understand the real currency that shapes your future, your actions when no one is cheering. Every ambitious person talks about greatness. Very few ever touch it. Not because they aren't talented, not because they aren't capable, but because they cannot survive the truth no one wants to hear. Greatness is boring. Let that sentence hit you. Let it sting. Because it's the reality you've been running from. Every extraordinary result, every impressive skill, every elite transformation is built on routines that look dull, repetitive, and ordinary to the undisciplined mind. And that's the key. The people who win are not the people who get excited. They are the people who stay consistent long after excitement dies. You have a choice. You can keep chasing intensity, motivation, highs, bursts of energy, or you can build the muscle that actually changes your life. Boring consistency. Say it with me. Boring builds brilliance. Boring builds brilliance. Look around at the people you admire. Writers, athletes, entrepreneurs, creators, leaders. Every one of them masters something the average person avoids. The monotony of repetition. The grind of fundamentals. The discipline of showing up even when nothing exciting is happening. Take writers, for example. The ones who publish, the ones who grow, the ones whose work reaches millions. They aren't waiting for inspiration. They sit down every day. They write something, even if it's terrible, even if they're tired, even if no one will read it today. They understand one universal law. Consistency compounds. Now look at athletes. The greatest aren't obsessed with flashy moves. They obsess over fundamentals. For breathing, repetitions. For hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of boring reps. The average person stops because it feels repetitive. The elite push because repetition is the point. Entrepreneurs? Same story. Business is not glamorous. It's not explosive. It's not a non-stop highlight reel. It's small habits done relentlessly. Daily outreach, daily tracking, daily learning, daily refining. Years of unremarkable steps, creating results the world calls overnight success. Here's what separates the disciplined from the undisciplined. The undisciplined think consistency should be interesting. The disciplined know consistency should be effective. It's not about excitement. It's about execution. And you need to hear this clearly. Your future does not care how you feel today. Greatness doesn't require your mood. Discipline doesn't need your motivation. Transformation doesn't happen in big heroic moments. Transformation happens when you show up to the same small task again and again. You have a choice. You can keep searching for a spark, or you can become the fire. Let's get into the psychology behind this, so you understand why boring consistency is so powerful. Your brain loves novelty. It loves excitement. It loves shortcuts. It loves instant reward. So when you repeat something simple over and over, your brain tells you it's a waste of time, that you're not growing fast enough, that you should switch strategies, that you need something new. That voice is lying. That voice is impatient. That voice is the same voice that ruins progress every single time. You don't need new. You need repetition. That's the key. Neuroscience proves it. Repetition wires mastery. Repetition builds identity. Repetition creates automaticity. The more you repeat the fundamentals, the less effort they take. The less effort they take, the more consistent you become. The more consistent you become, the more unstoppable you become. Say it again. Boring builds brilliance. So how do you master boring consistency in your own life? Let's break it down, step by step. Step 1. Pick one non-negotiable. Just one. Not 10. Not a whole new lifestyle overnight. One small, repeatable action. Something boring. Something foundational. Something that will compound. For example, write 200 words. Read 10 pages. Stretch for 5 minutes. Practice a skill for 10 minutes. Log your spending. Send one outreach message. Track one habit. It doesn't matter what the action is. What matters is that you repeat it every day without fail. Step 2. Remove emotion from execution. This is where most people lose. They think consistency is about motivation. It's not. Motivation is a bonus. Consistency is a decision. So when the moment comes, you don't ask yourself how you feel. You don't negotiate. You don't debate. You act. You do the boring task, even if your mood hates it. Step 3. Celebrate repetition, not results. Results take time. Repetition happens today. Focus on what you can control. Your job is to show up. Your job is to execute. Your job is to repeat. When you reward repetition, you build an identity that thrives on consistency. Step 4. Track the streak. There is power in seeing proof. 5 days in a row. 10 days. 30 days. 100 days. Momentum builds when you see your own discipline growing. Step 5. Make boredom your ally. This one is crucial. Stop fearing boredom. Start respecting it. Boredom is the sign you're on the right path. Boredom means the activity is becoming automatic. Automatic means easier. Easier means consistent. Consistent means powerful. The undisciplined quit when it feels boring. The disciplined push harder, because they know boring is where greatness begins. Say it again. Boring builds brilliance. And I need you to absorb this truth. Consistency will make you legendary in a world addicted to shortcuts. Consistency will make you valuable in a world addicted to convenience. Consistency will make you unrecognizable to your old self. You have a choice. You can commit to boring consistency and build a life that compounds. Or you can keep chasing excitement and stay stuck exactly where you've always been. Because here's the reality. You don't need to be talented. You don't need to be gifted. You don't need the perfect plan. You need discipline. You need repetition. You need consistency. It's not about motivation, it's about discipline. Not about excitement, about execution. Not about intensity, about identity. The greatest version of you is built slowly, quietly, and repeatedly. Tiny actions. Massive return. Small steps. Huge transformation. Boring builds brilliance. Now make the decision. Will you be another person who quits after a week because the routine feels dull? Or will you be the person who embraces the boredom and becomes unstoppable? You have a choice. And the discipline choice is clear. You've learned how to master consistency. You've learned how to build brilliance from the boring. Now it's time for the next level of discipline. The level that separates the strong from the scattered. You mastered boring consistency. Now, let's sharpen your focus. Power is not about strength. Power is not about yelling louder. Power is not about dominating with words or force. Power is emotional control. Power is restraint. Power is the ability to pause while others explode. And here's the truth most people never accept. If you cannot control your reactions, you will lose your power. Say it again. If you cannot control your reactions, you will lose your power. Strong minds pause. Weak minds react. Strong minds pause. Weak minds react. Every day you witness it. The person who reacts instantly, emotionally, loudly, seems strong at first. But over time, they burn bridges. They destroy opportunities. They fracture relationships. They give away their authority. Meanwhile, the person who pauses, who measures, who chooses, they gain respect. They earn trust. They control the room without raising their voice. They navigate life with power disguised as calm. You have a choice. You can be the loud reactive person, or you can be the quiet, unstoppable force. That's the key. Let's break down why emotional discipline matters. Your reactions are your currency. Every time you react impulsively, you spend that currency recklessly. Every time you pause, you invest wisely. You cannot recover the moment you throw away. You cannot undo the words you blurted. You cannot retract the anger you released. This is why emotional discipline is not optional. It is mandatory. Think about the workplace. The boss who loses their cool, respected by no one. The colleague who complains constantly, ignored by everyone. The calm, strategic employee, listened to, trusted, promoted. But because control commands power, calm is respected. Emotion without discipline is weakness disguised as strength. Relationships work the same way. Your partner reacts. You pause. Your friend explodes. You stay measured. Your coworker attacks. You respond strategically. Do this enough times and people stop testing you. They stop provoking you. They begin to follow your lead. Strong minds pause. Weak minds react. Repeat it. Strong minds pause. Weak minds react. Let it sink in. Let it guide your every decision. Now let's explore the psychology. Humans are emotional creatures. Your brain is wired to react first and think later. Fight or flight dominates your impulses. That is your survival instinct. It was useful when you faced predators. It is deadly in modern life. Reacting emotionally feels powerful. It feels immediate. It feels satisfying. But it costs you long-term influence. It costs you trust. It costs you respect. You have a choice. You can feed the primitive part of your brain, or you can override it. That's the key. So, how do you gain this control? How do you master the pause? Step 1. Breathe first. Every reaction begins in your body. Tension builds. Heart rate rises. Words form before thought. First, take one deep breath. 2, 3. Delay the reaction long enough to choose it consciously. Step 2. Question the impulse. Ask yourself, will this reaction move me closer to my goal, or will it cost me power? Will this response earn respect, or will it burn bridges? Your mind will often say, just say it. Just react. Ignore that. Strong minds pause. Weak minds react. Step 3. Focus on your mission. Every reaction should serve your purpose. Not your pride. Not your ego. Not your fleeting emotion. Strong minds act in alignment with vision. Weak minds act in alignment with feelings. Step 4. Speak less, think more. Words carry power. Every unnecessary word you speak gives someone else influence over you. Every emotional outburst surrenders authority. Silence is not weakness. Silence is a weapon. Pausing before speaking creates leverage. Pausing before reacting builds dominance. Step 5. Train under pressure. Control is developed in discomfort. Seek opportunities to practice the pause. Debates, criticism, annoyances, delays. Every situation where emotion rises is your training ground. Every confrontation is your chance to transform weakness into strength. Now, let's consider real-world examples. The boss who remains calm during a crisis does not just survive, they thrive. Employees notice composure. Decisions get clearer. Trust builds. Influence multiplies. Contrast that with the manager who yells, reacts emotionally, and lashes out. They may seem strong momentarily, but over time, respect evaporates. Influence dies. Opportunities vanish. Relationships are identical. One partner explodes. The other pauses, listens, responds thoughtfully. The argument ends faster. Resentment diminishes. Trust strengthens. The paused reaction is the catalyst for stability. The immediate reaction is the catalyst for chaos. Strong minds pause. Weak minds react. Repeat it. Strong minds pause. Weak minds react. This is not theory. This is practice. Every time you pause instead of reacting, you strengthen your emotional muscles. Every time you control a flare-up instead of surrendering to it, you build resilience. Every time you delay gratification in words or actions, you invest in long-term authority. And here's the final truth you must absorb. You don't need anyone's approval. You don't need to justify yourself. You don't need permission to remain calm. The moment you realize this, emotional control becomes effortless. Let me repeat it one more time for your future self. Strong minds pause. Weak minds react. Strong minds pause. Weak minds react. The stronger you become, the quieter your power appears. The weaker you remain, the louder your failures scream. Emotional discipline is the difference. Emotional discipline is the path to influence, authority, and opportunity. You have a choice. React now and surrender power. Pause and invest power. That's the key. Remember, control is your currency. Every reaction is an investment. Every pause compounds. Every measured response builds your empire in silence. Strong minds pause. Weak minds react. This is not optional. This is non-negotiable. This is the weapon every warrior must master. You have mastered consistency. You have embraced the boring routines that build brilliance. Now you must master control. You controlled your reactions. You gained power quietly. Next, you'll learn to guard the most valuable resource in your life, attention itself. People will always have opinions. Some are loud. Some are subtle. Some are disguised as advice. Some are masked as concern. All of them compete for your attention. And here's the brutal truth. Most people live their entire lives seeking approval. Most people adjust their actions, mute their ideas, and delay their goals, all to satisfy someone else. All because they gave power to voices that do not build their future. You have a choice. You can spend your life trying to satisfy everyone else, or you can focus on your mission. That's the key. Say it aloud, even in your mind. Your mission is louder than their opinions. Your mission is louder than their opinions. The undisciplined person hears criticism and stops. They read judgment and falter. They compare and despair. They let the world's noise dictate their direction. The disciplined person hears criticism and keeps moving. They notice judgment but do not internalize it. They compare but do not derail. They keep the mission first. They understand one critical principle. Other people's opinions are free. Your mission is not. Let's break down the psychology. Humans crave approval. It is hardwired. We are social creatures. But evolution does not reward approval in pursuit of excellence. It rewards results. It rewards mastery. It rewards consistency. Approval is temporary. Results are permanent. You have a choice. You can chase temporary validation or permanent impact. Every successful creator, founder, and leader you admire, they all mastered this truth. They detached from opinion. They focused on mission. Look at creators who dominate their niche. They do not wait for likes. They do not obsess over comments. They do not bend to trends. They focus on output, on value, on building their craft. Every day, without pause, without apology. Entrepreneurs are identical. Investors doubt them. Critics scoff. Competitors mock. They move anyway. They ignore the noise. They build the product, the service, the solution. They create momentum no criticism can stop. Leaders do the same. They do not make decisions to please the crowd. They make decisions to achieve the mission. They prioritize results over popularity. They prioritize impact over approval. And now you must do the same. Step 1. Recognize when you are seeking validation. Every time you post, speak, or act, ask, am I doing this to impress someone or to fulfill my mission? This is the filter. If the answer is approval, discard it. If the answer is mission, proceed. This is your mental checkpoint. Use it relentlessly. Step 2. Detach emotionally from judgment. Opinions exist outside you. They do not define you. They do not alter your worth. They cannot control your results unless you let them. The moment you internalize judgment, you surrender power. Stop surrendering power. Step 3. Prioritize your mission above all. Your mission is your compass. Your mission determines your daily actions. Your mission dictates where to spend energy, attention, and effort. If a task, decision, or interaction does not serve your mission, it is irrelevant. You have a choice. Keep attention on what matters. Ignore everything else. Step 4. Practice selective input. This is crucial. Your brain is a sponge. Every conversation, every social media scroll, every news bite feeds either mission or distraction. Select the inputs that build your skill, knowledge, and capacity. Reject the inputs that do not serve your mission. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You need focus. Step 5. Reinforce the mantra daily. Every morning, repeat, your mission is louder than their opinions. Every evening, reflect, did I prioritize mission over judgment? Repetition is not fluff. Repetition rewires your brain. Repetition protects your focus. Discipline is built through this daily reinforcement. Let's talk about real-world consequences. When you let opinions dominate, you dilute your message. You water down your work to make it acceptable. You delay execution. You second-guess yourself. You lose momentum. You lose time. You lose credibility. When you put mission first, you amplify influence. Your work becomes consistent, authentic, and powerful. People notice, not because you chased approval, but because you mastered your craft. Leaders, creators, and entrepreneurs all follow this path. Remember, detachment is not arrogance. It is strategy. It is control. It is the difference between wasting life on judgment or spending life on impact. Say it again. Your mission is louder than their opinions. Your mission is louder than their opinions. You must internalize this principle so deeply that external noise becomes irrelevant. Critics? Irrelevant. Doubters? Irrelevant. Comparison? Irrelevant. You don't need permission. You don't need applause. You don't need affirmation. You only need discipline. You only need focus. You only need the mission. And here's a practice exercise you can start immediately. Write down your mission. Be clear. Be precise. Be ruthless. Identify the top 3 opinions, judgments, or comparisons that pull you off track. Visualize them as noise, loud, distracting, meaningless. Repeat. Your mission is louder than their opinions. Act in alignment with mission. Ignore the rest. Do this consistently. Do this relentlessly. Do this until mission dominance is automatic. You will feel freedom you never imagined. You will feel energy you never accessed. You will accomplish more in months than most do in years. Strong minds focus on the mission. Weak minds chase approval. Strong minds focus. Weak minds get lost. You have a choice. Choose focus. Choose detachment. Choose mission. That's the key. Now internalize it. Your mission is louder than their opinions. Say it again. Your mission is louder than their opinions. Let this be your guiding force. You mastered emotional control. You mastered consistency. You mastered ignoring distraction. Now you will master energy, protecting it like a warrior protects life itself. Most people chase applause. Most people chase recognition. Most people chase validation. It's human. It feels good. It feels rewarding. It feels like proof. But here's the harsh truth. If you only perform when others are watching, you will never be great. You will never dominate. You will never achieve true mastery. You have a choice. You can show up only when people notice, or you can show up every day, whether anyone notices or not. That's the key. Say it aloud in your mind, in your chest. Train in the dark. Shine in the light. Train in the dark. Shine in the light. The undisciplined person needs applause. They need support. They need encouragement. They need recognition to keep going. The disciplined person? They don't. They need nothing but themselves. Look at the boxer training in empty gyms before sunrise. No crowd. No lights. No cheering. Just sweat. Just repetition. Just commitment. They train because they have to, not because someone is watching. They train in the dark so they can shine when the lights come on. Musicians are the same. Years of practice in basements and bedrooms. No audience. No applause. Just scales, just technique, just grind. Then one day they perform, and the world is stunned. All the unseen work becomes visible mastery. Writers, athletes, entrepreneurs, creators, every one of them understands this principle. The public result is always preceded by private mastery. You cannot skip the private work. You cannot cheat the grind. You cannot rely on applause to sustain effort. You have a choice. Chase applause and fade, or train in the dark and dominate. Now, let's break down why showing up in silence is so powerful. First, it builds resilience. When you practice only for yourself, you stop needing approval. You stop fearing judgment. You stop reacting to critics. You develop an internal engine, one that runs on discipline, not validation. Second, it strengthens character. When no one is watching, your integrity is tested. Will you do the work anyway? Will you push through fatigue? Will you repeat the boring fundamentals? If yes, you build character. If no, you build excuses. You have a choice. Third, it compounds results. Every extra repetition, every extra page written, every extra hour trained. Invisible today, valuable tomorrow. Invisible today, valuable tomorrow. Train in the dark, shine in the light. Let's get practical. How do you cultivate this private mastery? Step 1. Commit to consistency regardless of recognition. Set the routine. Set the habit. Do it every day. No excuses. No motivation needed. Do it because it is necessary. Step 2. Remove external rewards from the equation. Stop tracking likes, applause, or praise. Your measure of success is execution. Did you show up? Did you do the work? That is all. Step 3. Focus on process, not outcome. The outcome is the result others see. The process is what transforms you. Process is silent. Process is repetitive. Process is boring. And that is exactly why it works. Step 4. Build a private standard of excellence. Don't settle for mediocrity in hidden moments. Push further. Refine technique. Challenge yourself when no one is watching. The small victories in silence will become unstoppable momentum in public. Step 5. Reflect on progress quietly. Each day ask, did I show up for myself today? Did I do what no one will ever see? If yes, you've succeeded. If no, adjust tomorrow. Repeat daily. Here's a critical truth most people ignore. The world rewards results, not effort. But the world cannot give results without effort. Your effort must precede recognition. All praise is a byproduct of unseen work. And here's why the disciplined excel. They've mastered the patience to work without applause. They've embraced discomfort in silence. They've trained their identity to persist independently of validation. They have internalized this mantra. Train in the dark. Shine in the light. When you show up only when others notice, you surrender control. You make your work dependent on external factors. You make your motivation dependent on someone else's judgment. You will never sustain excellence that way. You have a choice. Live for applause and fade, or show up when no one claps and dominate. Let me give you an example from entrepreneurship. Founders who build companies in garages, basements, or late-night offices. Ignored by peers, mocked by competitors, criticized by friends. They persist, they innovate, they succeed, all because they did not need validation. They trained in the dark. Then one day, their work is visible and powerful. Even in relationships and personal growth, the principle applies. You grow your discipline, patience, and skill before others notice. You develop habits silently. You refine character in private. Then you step into the world and your impact is undeniable. Say it again with conviction. Train in the dark. Shine in the light. Your future self depends on it. Your identity depends on it. Your mastery depends on it. Now listen carefully. You do not need anyone to see your grind. You do not need applause to feel accomplished. You do not need recognition to validate your effort. You have a choice. Do the work anyway. Show up anyway. Persist anyway. The undisciplined complain when no one notices. The disciplined rejoice in quiet growth. The undisciplined stop when validation is absent. The disciplined become unstoppable when no one watches. You will face moments where effort feels invisible, where sacrifice feels unseen, where progress seems slow. That is the exact moment that defines your trajectory. Do not quit. Do not falter. Do not seek applause. Every repetition in silence compounds. Every action taken privately multiplies. Every day you show up when no one claps, you are building unstoppable momentum. Train in the dark. Shine in the light. You have mastered detachment from opinions. You have embraced mission focus. Now you must master private persistence. You showed up when no one claps. You trained in silence. Next, we will take this discipline further by guarding the most vital resource of all, your energy. Your habits define your life. Every action you repeat becomes your identity. Every choice you make compounds over time. And here's the truth most people never grasp. Weak habits create weak lives. Strong habits create unstoppable warriors. Rituals shape identity. Say it again. Rituals shape identity. Look around. Most people drift through life. They scroll endlessly. They react emotionally. They eat mindlessly. They procrastinate. They complain. They blame. And all of these weak habits, repeated day after day, build an identity of weakness. You have a choice. Continue repeating weak habits and watch your power drain, or replace them with warrior rituals and transform your life from the inside out. That's the key. Let's be clear. A ritual is not a goal. A ritual is not an outcome. A ritual is a repeated practice that reinforces the person you are becoming. Rituals build identity. Weak habits erode it. Every choice you make either strengthens your warrior self or diminishes it. Step 1. Identify the habits that drain you. This is brutal but necessary. Mindless scrolling, emotional eating, procrastination, complaining, indulgence without purpose. Every habit that leaves you feeling empty or reactive is a weak habit. You have a choice. Acknowledge them. Name them. Confront them. Step 2. Design replacement rituals. Not vague ideas. Concrete practices. Morning routines that anchor your day. Deep work blocks where distractions are eliminated. Intentional discomfort. Cold showers, silent sessions, fasting, controlled exposure to challenge. Movement, meditation, mastery of fundamentals. These are rituals that build warriors. Repeat daily. Repeat consistently. Repeat without exception. Rituals shape identity. Step 3. Start small, then scale. Do not overwhelm yourself. Replace one weak habit at a time. Add one ritual at a time. Small daily victories compound. Small victories build momentum. Momentum builds discipline. Discipline builds identity. Step 4. Anchor rituals to triggers. Link them to existing behaviors. Wake up, 5 minutes of meditation. Finish work's 10 push-ups. Eat breakfast, plan the top 3 priorities for the day. Habits chained together become unstoppable sequences. Step 5. Track and reinforce. Your brain loves patterns. Your brain loves proof. Track the rituals you perform. Check them off daily. Celebrate consistency, not perfection. Consistency rewires identity. Consistency turns action into instinct. Now, let's discuss the psychology behind warrior rituals. Every weak habit drains mental strength. Scrolling, complaining, reacting emotionally, these are all energy leaks. Every energy leak makes self-discipline harder. Every energy leak makes emotional control weaker. Every energy leak erodes the warrior within. Replacing weak habits with rituals restores energy. It builds momentum. It strengthens focus. It increases resilience. Every ritual you practice reinforces that you are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are a warrior in control. Think of elite performers. The athletes who dominate were not born extraordinary. They made rituals non-negotiable. They practiced fundamentals daily. They trained when no one watched. They fueled their bodies and minds deliberately. They made discomfort a ritual. They made repetition a ritual. Rituals shape identity. Entrepreneurs are identical. They do not wait for inspiration. They follow disciplined schedules. They block deep work. They eliminate distractions. They plan meticulously. They endure setbacks. They repeat the practices that winners repeat. Not flashy actions. Not dramatic gestures. Rituals. Daily. Consistently. Here's the challenge you must face. Replace at least one weak habit immediately. Identify what drains your energy or focus. Pick one. Then replace it with a ritual that strengthens your identity. Cold shower instead of scrolling. 5-minute meditation instead of complaining. Early rise and planning instead of hitting snooze. Do it every day. Do not negotiate. Do not wait for motivation. Do it because you are building a warrior identity. Remember, weak habits are seductive. They feel comfortable. They feel easy. They feel familiar. But comfort kills. Familiarity kills. These kills. Warriors embrace discomfort. Warriors embrace challenge. Warriors replace weakness with strength. Rituals shape identity. Say it again. Rituals shape identity. Let this become your mantra. Let it echo in every action you take. Now, integrate your new rituals with everything you have learned. Consistency is the backbone. Private mastery is your forge. Emotional control is your shield. Mission focus is your compass. Your rituals are the engine that drives it all. You have a choice. Continue letting weak habits define your day, or replace them with warrior rituals that define your life. That's the key. Every day you perform these rituals, you solidify your identity. Every day you choose the warrior path, you grow stronger. Every day you embrace discipline over ease, purpose over distraction, ritual over habit, you are unstoppable. You have mastered private persistence. You have embraced mission over opinion. Now you will harness your energy, protect it, prioritize it, and direct it like a true warrior. Your life reflects your environment. Your habits, your focus, your energy, your results. All are shaped by the space, people, and inputs you surround yourself with. And here's the harsh truth. If your environment is chaotic, cluttered, or distracting, your discipline will suffer. You can want change all you want, you can read every book, you can set every goal. But if your environment is sabotaging you, your willpower is wasted. Your environment trains you. Say it again. Your environment trains you. The undisciplined person thinks discipline is internal. They believe sheer force of will is enough. They fight fatigue, distraction, temptation, only to fail repeatedly. The disciplined person? They engineer their environment. They remove temptation. They create friction for bad habits. They make focus effortless. They make distraction costly. You have a choice. You can fight your environment and struggle, or you can control your environment and dominate effortlessly. That's the key. Step 1. Remove the clutter. Physical clutter drains mental energy. Clothes on the floor, dirty dishes, piles of paper, disorganized desk. Every visual distraction pulls your focus. Clean space, clear mind. Discipline flows when your environment supports it. Your environment trains you. Step 2. Eliminate toxic people. Some people drain energy, demotivate, or reinforce bad habits. You know who they are. Friends who complain constantly, colleagues who gossip, relatives who criticize unnecessarily. You have a choice. Limit exposure. Distance yourself. Protect your energy. Your environment trains you. If chaos surrounds you, chaos manifests inside you. Step 3. Create friction for negative habits. Weak habits thrive on convenience. Mindless scrolling? Move your phone to another room. Snacking impulsively? Remove junk from your house. Procrastination? Schedule tasks and block distractions. Make bad habits harder to access. Make good habits easier. Your environment will enforce your discipline automatically. Step 4. Design a disciplined space. Every room, every desk, every corner can support or sabotage you. Organize your workspace. Keep essential tools ready. Remove distractions. Make your bedroom a sanctuary for rest. Make your kitchen a tool for fuel, not impulse. Environment is leverage. Discipline is amplified by the spaces you inhabit. Your environment trains you. Step 5. Control digital inputs. Social media, notifications, endless news cycles. These are energy vampires. Set boundaries. Mute distractions. Use apps to block time-wasting sites. Schedule specific windows for communication. Your digital space should serve your mission, not hijack it. Your environment trains you. Now, let's discuss the psychology behind environmental discipline. Humans are reactive. We respond to cues in our surroundings automatically. A messy desk triggers stress. A phone buzzing triggers distraction. An unorganized schedule triggers procrastination. Your environment sends signals constantly, subtle but powerful. And if left unchecked, your environment will train you into weakness. But when you master your environment, it trains you into strength. Clean desk, clear mind, supportive people, focused energy, reduced temptation, increased friction. Your environment reinforces your habits automatically. No willpower required. No internal struggle. Your environment becomes a silent ally. Examples from real life are everywhere. Elite athletes, locker rooms free of distractions, equipment prepped, routines rehearsed. Musicians, dedicated practice spaces, instruments ready, phone away, focus uninterrupted. Entrepreneurs, minimalist offices, carefully chosen partners, no energy drains. Every warrior who dominates their field controls their environment. Every successful person has engineered spaces that reinforce discipline automatically. That is not luck. That is strategy. Here's your actionable blueprint. Audit your environment. Identify clutter, distractions, and energy drains. Remove them ruthlessly. Everything that does not serve your mission or strength has no place. Create friction for all weak habits. Make indulgence inconvenient. Design spaces to amplify your discipline. Workspace, bedroom, kitchen, digital space. Each element must support you. Review weekly. Refine. Optimize. Discipline is a system, not a single effort. This is non-negotiable. Your surroundings shape your actions. Your actions shape your habits. Your habits shape your identity. Your identity shapes your results. Your environment trains you. Say it again. Your environment trains you. Now internalize this. You can will yourself to be disciplined in a chaotic environment, but it will be a constant fight. You can engineer your environment to support your discipline, and it will feel natural, effortless, unstoppable. You have mastered private persistence. You have mastered rituals that shape identity. Now your environment becomes a weapon. Every object, every person, every digital signal either strengthens your discipline or weakens it. Choose wisely. The disciplined warrior knows. Control the environment, control the life. The undisciplined person struggles endlessly against chaos and loses every time. You have a choice. Control your environment. Dominate your habits. Multiply your results. That's the key. You have designed your environment. You have strengthened your rituals. You have protected your focus, your mission, and your energy. Next, we will master the ultimate expression of discipline: time itself. Most people spend their lives pretending they can be disciplined, pretending they can achieve greatness, pretending they can resist temptation, pretending they can push through discomfort. And here's the truth most never face. Pretending is harmless only if you take action. If you do nothing while pretending, you stay weak. You stay average. You stay invisible. You have a choice. You can keep pretending, or you can become. That's the key. Say it aloud. Identity beats motivation. Boys. Fin. Identity beats motivation. Boys. Elite performers, warriors, and masters do not wait for motivation. They do not wait for inspiration. They do not rely on fleeting emotion. They act. They perform. They train. They endure. Day after day, repetition after repetition, until the identity becomes who they are. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Motivation will desert you on the hardest day. Motivation will fail when discomfort rises. Identity does not. Identity is built. Identity is earned. Identity endures. You have a choice. Do you act only when you feel like it? Or do you act because you are the person who acts? This is the ultimate warrior lesson. Identity beats motivation. Boys. Step 1. Act in alignment with the warrior you want to be. You don't need to feel like it. You don't need permission. You don't need anyone to watch. The action itself creates identity. Do the work. Show up. Push through the discomfort. Repeat daily. Identity forms. Step 2. Stop defining yourself by desire, feelings, or circumstances. I want to be disciplined is weak. I try but I fail is weak. I will be strong when I feel ready is weak. Instead, define yourself by action. I am disciplined. I am relentless. I am unshakable. Say it until your mind believes it. Act it until your body embodies it. Identity beats motivation. Boys. Step 3. Reinforce identity through ritual, persistence, and environment. Everything you have learned in this book, private mastery, emotional control, mission focus, warrior rituals, environment design, energy management, is a tool to sculpt identity. Consistency is your chisel. Action is your hammer. Discipline is your foundation. Step 4. Embrace discomfort as proof of growth. Every challenge you face is a mirror. Every pain you endure is a teacher. Every failure is feedback. A warrior does not run from difficulty. A warrior leans into it. A warrior proves, day after day, that they are disciplined. Step 5. Visualize the person you are becoming. See yourself disciplined. See yourself resilient. See yourself unstoppable. Then act as if that identity is already yours. Behavior shapes self-image. Self-image shapes action. Action shapes destiny. Identity beats motivation. Boys, consider real-world examples. The athlete who trains at 4 a.m., unseen, uncelebrated, unmotivated, becomes elite. The writer who finishes pages daily, without applause or recognition, becomes published and admired. The entrepreneur who persists through rejection, chaos, and doubt builds an empire. Every single one of them stopped pretending. They acted in alignment with the identity they wanted. And over time, they became it. Weak people wait for external cues. Weak people chase inspiration. Weak people rely on hope. Warriors build themselves regardless. Identity beats motivation. Boys, you have a choice. Keep pretending, or act. Act as if you are the warrior now. Act as if discipline is already yours. Act as if nothing and no one can sway you from your mission. Repeat. Reinforce. Persist. Identity beats motivation. Boys, this is the moment of transformation. You have mastered motivation and realized it is fleeting. You have embraced consistency in private. You have controlled reactions, focused on mission, replaced weak habits, disciplined your environment, and protected your energy. Now you must consolidate all of this. The final step is to become the warrior you once pretended you couldn't be. Here's your exercise. Write down the identity you claim. I am disciplined. I am relentless. I am unstoppable. Each day, act in full alignment with that identity before motivation appears. At every obstacle, remind yourself, identity beats motivation. Boys, reflect nightly. Did my actions today reinforce the warrior I am becoming? Adjust and repeat. This is non-negotiable. The difference between trying and becoming is action. Trying is weak. Becoming is power. Trying relies on emotion. Becoming relies on discipline. Trying is temporary. Becoming is permanent. Identity beats motivation. Boys, the warrior you are becoming does not need excuses, does not need validation, does not need applause. The warrior simply acts. The warrior simply persists. The warrior simply wins. Your time is now. Every chapter you've mastered is a tool in your arsenal. Every habit, every ritual, every environmental tweak, every moment of private mastery has prepared you for this. You are ready. You are capable. You are disciplined. Repeat it for yourself. Identity beats motivation. Boys, identity beats motivation. Identity beats motivation. Now take this truth and embed it into every action. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for inspiration. Do not wait for recognition. Become the warrior you pretended you couldn't be. Show up every day. Act relentlessly. Persist unapologetically. Own your mission. Own your habits. Own your environment. Own your energy. Own your life. This is your challenge. Stand up. Decide. No excuses. No delay. No hesitation. You are disciplined. You are relentless. You are unstoppable. Identity beats motivation. Boys, congratulations. You have completed the journey. Now go live it. Now go dominate. Now go become the warrior you once only imagined. You've learned the truth. Motivation comes and goes. Excuses destroy futures. Private mastery builds unstoppable momentum. Rituals shape identity. Environment trains you. And above all, identity beats motivation, always. Now it's time to stop pretending. Every habit, every choice, every moment is a test. Show up when no one claps. Replace weakness with warrior rituals. Protect your energy. Control your environment. On your mission. You have the tools. You have the discipline. You have the power. The challenge is simple: act. Now, be relentless. Become the warrior you once pretended you couldn't be. Identity beats motivation. Boys, this is your life. Dominate it.